And now we're moving on to you for the threads.
So I so appreciate now threads. Yes. Actually, an interesting case I learned about it just a few weeks ago. There is a restaurant in New York City called Fly Fish, and you buy as an NFT a membership there. Very expensive, insanely expensive. But once you own it, you can show up in that restaurant every day if you please, or or just once per month. It's up to you. But you get free meals all the time, just by showing an NFT. Kind of a very elite membership mechanic. But yes, let's jump to the threads. As you can imagine, Web3 is a very young industry, a lot of projects happening, a lot of innovations, people constantly think of new ways how it can be improved, but it also attracts a lot of malicious projects, a lot of challenges coming from traditional physical world, traditional businesses, Web2, but also Web3 specifics. I'll start with NFTs, and again, there are several problems with them, but I found the most problematic everything what is related to intellectual property. Every time when you go to OpenSea or Variable or I don't know, Foundation to mint an NFT, or maybe you write your own smart contract and do minting yourself, there is never a verification that the piece of content that you want to turn into NFT indeed belongs to you. Again, it's starting to change. There are projects that try to mitigate these risks, but generally speaking, everybody can go and steal any digital art or digital good and turn it into NFT, and it would be really hard to prove that this piece didn't belong to the person who created it. More than that, since most NFTs has royalty mechanic, and they can get rewards every time the NFT is resold, the person stole your piece and now he's earning money on it. It's indeed a very big problem. And also, it's usually up to the creator of NFT or platform to decide what kind of rights NFT gives. The Bored Apps Club that Michael mentioned is actually a really unique case because they give you all the rights you can possibly imagine. You can, I don't know, make a movie with your app, you can post it, you can print it, you can make a whole collection with it, they don't care. But it's very rare, and most of the time copyright is not included in NFT. You can own it, you can showcase it, but never use it for commercial purposes. And it's very important to bear in mind, and there were even legal trials related to this questioning of true ownership and rights associated. Then decentralized organizations and governance. Again, I think the history of humankind proved that democratic regimes are better than other alternatives. But as we can see the problems raising on the national level, the same problems exist on the bottom level. And a lot of times, democratic ideas are not that democratic on the ground. For example, when projects decide that one token equals to one vote, that would mean that the biggest investor that there is on the platform can decide whatever. And that means that that problem of corporate ownership that we talked in the beginning is not actually solved. Nothing has changed. Voting participation is another problem. How to motivate your users every day or once per week or every month, depending on how often you want to make updates, to go and vote. Are there any rewards for this? Who will vote in the end? Maybe people will decide between themselves and try to push unpopular decisions. So it's a tricky field in itself, and a lot of people are not familiar with voting behavior studies, political science, electoral studies, and it's very easy to manipulate. But as for me, this is still a better alternative to what we have now. And if we decide and find ways how these issues can be solved, it would be definitely better. Then tokenomics. I will show you a picture from the project that actually came to us. We wrote a white paper. They didn't want us to design their tokenomics, and then a few months later, their value dropped 95% in one day. And they reported that it was just a reaction, a market reaction, not a scam from their side. And what has happened, they had a reckless investor that decided to sell all his tokens in one day, and that's what they got. I mean, we see the same things happen on the national level with run-out banks, with financial crisis, etc. But again, if you don't design wisely your tokenomics, token economy, you can end up with financial crisis within the platform, and you're gonna deal with it, and they really struggle to bring the value of token back. So that's a big risk, and that's actually one of core expertise in our consultancy. We do model and think about all the risks that can happen and how to mitigate them. And the thing I'll mention briefly, but I think Michael can elaborate on that better, is promotions. It's very hard to promote Web3 projects. Traditional channels that other businesses use are usually limited for them. For example, Google and Meta have restrictions, and they're very sensitive to any stop words, and crypto is one of them, token is another. And as soon as they scan the landing page and see those words, your ad is never gonna be shown anywhere. Then you end up working with influencers. Influencers are very hard to analyze data and evaluate whether the campaigns with them were indeed efficient or not. In general, there is a lack of data. A lot of projects don't know who are their customers, where do they come from, because everything is anonymous. How to promote to them, what are true pains or values that they see. So a lot of challenges, but as I said, I think Michael can do.
Absolutely, I'll take care of it here. So, still just jumping back to promotions, the idea behind it is these channels or social medias, they don't want to advertise because in their policies it's against investing to advertise anything like that, and also to have something behind your name that you advertise a project which stole money. They do not want to have that. That's why that system is very hard to break through. Even if you're running a Web3 project, you want to get advertising up, you want to get your name out there, people joining in on your project. And that's currently one of the biggest painful bricks in the whole of Web3. How are you going to get your name out there? Thus, you have to resort to collaborating with contacts, knowing people in the sphere, working with platforms directly. As we see, it's a very closed-up community of people. You cannot ask almost the outside world for help. You need to know people to work in this industry. We're moving now on to the lack of interest, which is, of course, users are built around hype. It was something very interesting, like you mint in a project, the community is going crazy, they want to see the floor price go higher, oh my god, it dropped by 0.1 Ethereum, it's crashing. This is mass hysteria on another level, that people want to live with the hype. They don't want to live with the long run of the, you could say, graph. They want to see this and go further up. And if they see a small down like this, they're afraid of shit. So it's one of the things that they're afraid that it's more than a money grab. It's the idea that you want to be a part of this project for its utility or something that will bring to you for well-being. But we call these people degens, and they're not interested in a hell of anything that this thing can provide. They're just interested in making money. And they will complain that they've lost $200 or something, and the community catches on to it, and they start a fire of massive issues going for the moderators in the projects to calm them down, explain to them why everything is along the road, we're doing fine, it's normal, it happens, and I have experienced this countless times. It's incredible how people can destroy a project just by themselves, not knowing or understanding what is the use of it or how they can actually increase value of their project. Going on, of course, the development slows down in a non-hype event. So this happens when you have this project you launch. The first week, you're releasing all this crucial information about the new developments happening. But as time goes, you have limited amounts of funds to work with and, of course, to show your community that you're still developing as a project. Thus, you need to be very clever how to solve this, to keep your community engaged and show them that our project is not floating, it is going somewhere, it is aiming for some sort of target. Thus, projects which do not have enough funding tend to fail in their development in the long-term stages of their project. And the last one is, of course, fearful. People are very afraid in this space, and that is affecting a lot of Web3 projects in terms of it being a scam or a money grab, such as we call money grab a rug pull. Basically, you're standing on a rug and somebody pulls the rug and it just flies down, or it flies onto the ground. Reason being, people want to believe that the team behind this project is legit. Thus, people are breaking almost Web3 by putting their LinkedIn or the team behind the project. It's a very interesting hybrid. It's Web 2.5. The autonomy is still there, but people still know who are the people behind the project and they trust them for who they are and why they are developing that project. And another one, our fakes are hurting the image of what Web3 is all about. We will say that a lot of these projects are, let's say there's a project of these Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, and there are thousands of projects that created similar looking NFTs or Web3 assets related to this project, and it just feels like it's another Chinese copy or something like this of this project. And it ruins the idea of what we're trying to build here as pioneers or developers of Web3. We want to create something unique for every project, not just a copy-paste of an image and a little bit add, I don't know, a mustache or something to it. So that's currently one of the things that is creating fear in this industry, is that your project can just get copyrighted to just create more money and then just be gone, just like that.